Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can make this cool pop-up form that you can use in your next website. Let's get right into it. So the first thing we need to do is go into our code. Let's add a div with the class overlay. This is going to act as an overlay that contains the form and blurs the background. So let's add the form. We'll have an input, type text, and a name of name, ID of name, and placeholder, you guessed it, name. Then we'll have the same, but for an email, we'll have a submit button, so input type submit. Close that. Input type email, and we'll replace the name and ID the same. Placeholder email, and then we'll have one text area for the message. Name message, ID message. And then let's go into the CSS. So the overlay, width of 100%, height of the same. We'll give it a z-index of 1 because it's going to be in front of all the other elements. Display grid, place item centers. Yeah, this just puts all the items in the middle. We're not really using the grid display. And let's go into the form next. So style the form. We will give it a display of flex, align items at the center, justify content, center as well, and then we will give it a flex direction of column. Actually, we wouldn't need that. And let's take a look at it. Alright. One thing we forgot to do for the overlay was to give it a fixed position, and then top 0, left 0, and it should be in the middle now. Yep. And then the form, it's a bit too small, so give it a width of 400 pixels should do. Padding of 40 pixels. Background color, we need a background color. So background color white. We'll round the borders to make it look better. So border radius, give it a radius of 40 pixels. 40 pixels should do. What next? We'll make the form items, the form inputs bigger. So form targeting everything, we'll give it a padding of say 10 pixels, and a margin of 5 pixels on the top and bottom. So margin 5 pixels, and then nothing on the side. Yep, that looks a lot better. We'll need to add a close button. It doesn't have to be a button, just an item that when they click on it will close. So we'll just keep an image, we'll source, just get any close icon. Right now I'm using icons 8. Just copy the link to PNG, go back into the code, paste it there. We'll give it a class of close button, and then let's style that. So dot close button, give it a width of 40 pixels, and then we will fix it at the top right of the form. So position fixed, no, not fixed, absolute, because it's not of the page but of the form itself. So top 0, left, I'd prefer it at the top right, so right 0. Let's check that out. We don't need this anymore. The item's not showing. The item's not working because it isn't nested into the form, and the form right now has a static position, so we'll give it a position of relative, and that should work now. Yep, it's a bit too small, so let's make that bigger. How about 50 pixels? Much better. Alright, so then we can add background filter. Hold on. WebKit backdrop filter of blur 10 pixels, and then we'll add this is just for accessibility purposes for older browsers. Adding the WebKit backdrop filter will give them the same effect if they're not on the newer gen browsers. And yep, now we just need to be able to open and close it. So let's get this element over here. It's blurred out, but it says contact us. I've given it the class of CTA, so let's just get that. This is the JavaScript CTA.document query selector. Look for the element with the class of CTA. Let's get the overlay. So overlay equals document.query selector. Get the element with the class of overlay, and lastly we'll get the close button. So the button equals document.query selector. The element with what class did I give it? Close button, right? So close button, and then we'll add an event listener to each. So CTA.add event listener. So on click, what we want to happen is that when we click the contact us button, we want that form to show up. So we will add a class of overlay active. So we'll give it an opacity of 0 when it's inactive, and overlay active we will give it an opacity of 1. We'll add a transition so it isn't an abrupt change. Transition opacity half a second should do. Ease. And then we need to remove pointer events. Pointer events none. So basically the overlay will constantly be in front of all the other elements, but unless it has the overlay active class, the pointer events won't work. So it will be as if it wasn't there. So in the active one we need to give it pointer events all. What else do we need? Let's first get that working. So overlay dot class list dot add we're gonna add the class of overlay active, and then we'll do the same for the button, except this time we're removing the class of overlay active. So we want this to run this function, overlay dot class list dot remove overlay active. There might be some incorrect spellings, but let's first try that out. Works perfectly. One thing we should do is add a hover animation to this button so users can know that it's clickable. It might seem stupid, but usually in the demographics of 50 and above, they don't know what a button is unless it's highlighted or moving. So let's just add a hover state to the close button hover, and then we'll scale it up like 1.2. Give it a scale of 1 here, and then we'll give it a transition on that scale. Transition scale 0.3 seconds ease, and everything should be perfect now. Yep, and that's how you guys do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.